You know, one of the major effects of a big fire like this, Netta, is the state of our air quality. I know you were reporting on the fire yesterday, and you could actually smell the smoke where you were standing.
Oh, yeah. We were east of the fire, and you can see the smoke. You could smell the smoke. And then throughout the day when we moved around that area, of course, it's in the air throughout much of San Diego. So we do want to bring in now Interim Director of the San Diego County Air Pollution Control District this morning, Robert Rieder, joining us to explain what's going on. So talk about our current air quality. How are we doing this morning and today? What's it going to be like?
Good morning, Eric and Netta. So today we're predicting moderate to unhealthful air quality levels in the inland portions of the county. The APCD is here to protect air quality and public health, and we're measuring air quality throughout the region. So what we're finding is in the populated coastal areas, the smoke is very high up in the atmosphere and largely not impacting people down at the ground where we breathe. But of course, as you move closer to the fire, into inland San Diego, the smoke impacts will be heavier. And for those that are sensitive, like children and the elderly and those that may have lung and heart disease, we're recommending that if you smell smoke, to limit your activity and to stay indoors to protect yourself. The goal is to minimize exposure to the smoke. So again, in the much of the county, the smoke is elevated at a higher level and not impacting us. But as you get closer to the fire, certainly you're going to be impacted by that smoke and need to take precautions to protect yourself.
Robert, we live inland, and I have 3 kids, and we're in the Rancho Bernardo area, and we noticed the ash on our cars, on our garbage cans. When I saw that, I just said, you know what, kids, why don't you come inside? Maybe today's not the day to play outside. What should parents be doing if they see that? I mean, we didn't necessarily smell smoke, but I would imagine that can have some sort of impact on their breathing, right?
Possibly. So the particles that are falling out of the sky are the heavier particles. What we tend to breathe in are the microscopic particles that you can't see. Those are the most damaging. I'm talking very small, like 30 particles would fit on the head of a pin. So you truly can't see it, but they're particles that can lodge deep into the lungs. The ash falling out of the sky, is potentially impactful on the health. We would recommend not touching the ash, but it's much like the ash in your fireplace, for example, where you would want to protect yourself when you're cleaning up those ashes, and certainly you can end up inhaling them and impacting your eyes, but those larger ash pieces don't tend to breathe into the lungs. That's where the most damage is done. Excuse me, my lights just went on. The microscopic particles that you breathe in. But the ash also, to be mindful of the ash, I think it's smart that you ask your kids to come inside because that can get into your eyes and into your nose and throat. But the body will naturally expel those larger particles. It's the very small ones that we can't see that are the most damaging.
And Robert, I know we've been talking about the weather forecast throughout the morning. This morning, there's the marine layer, which always seems to be a welcome sight, especially for these fires. But Santa Anas are in the forecast for later today. So what do you think that's going to do to the smoke? Who will be impacted next by this?
Thank you, Nita. We are concerned about that, and we're watching that at the APCD. We're going to update our smoke advisory this morning and then again this afternoon. As you noted earlier, the winds currently are mostly blowing from west to east, but this afternoon we do expect them to reverse from east to west, potentially impacting larger portions of the region. And so we would advise everybody, it's really the same safety precautions, that if you smell smoke and you feel your throat is scratchy or your eyes are burning, that's a sign you're getting exposed, and we would recommend you limit your exposure. Get indoors if you can. Shut the doors, shut the windows. Try to stay into a clean room in the interior of your house. And so it's minimizing exposure to the smoke is the key.
Right.
But if the wind shifts from west to east, from east to west, then yes, it's possible that more parts of the region will be impacted.
Gotcha.
And so on the APCD website, we will be posting all that information and tweeting it out and issuing any health advisories and smoke advisories with precautions for what the public can do to protect themselves.
Robert Rieder, we appreciate your time here this morning and all the work you guys are doing.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thanks again.